We have a couple of big weeks coming up, and we'll take a look at the technicals that are coming our way. So this week, we have Tesla earnings coming out, and that's going to be huge for the stock. We have to look for that. And also my Tesla stock price prediction and earnings projection are well on their way, and I can't wait to put that out here for you. Those earnings are Wednesday in the after hours, so watch for my video to drop here on YouTube very soon. By the way, these technicals that you see on the screen as they come up here, they are available already over at the Discord. You can access that through using the link for the Patreon down in the description. If you guys want to do these technicals yourself, there's a link for Stockmo Academy down in the description as well. You can click that and sign up and use the code REDOCTOR for a massive discount. With that said, let's go over to the charts. So on Friday, I put out a video to my Discord members, my community that I have over there, giving the technicals, saying watch out for the election coming up. It could be something that allows us to see a little bit of weakness in the market kind of selling down a little bit and de-risking, especially as we get into earnings too. So between the earnings, with uncertainty, and the election, there's two things that can really kind of put us in a mixed place, or a place that we might sell down a little bit, getting a little bit of softness in the pre-market hours this morning. Netflix reported that last week it had an 11% day on Friday, then also pulling back just a tiny bit. So we'll see what we get. So right now, this line of resistance, about 585 for SPY, seems to be where we're having a little bit of trouble. We got rejected, peekabooed over it, and then a big old rejection on Thursday. Friday, one more peekaboo, not quite over it yet though. We are still riding on top of the 5-period EMA on the chart that you see that has been support for us, with the 20-period, which is all the way down here from the Bollinger Bands, this crooked line that you see coming down here below the rising wedge pattern that we're in, which is a bearish reversal pattern, by the way, if we break down through the bottom trend line, and especially if we retest and confirm that bottom trend line, that we could get a further sell from there. It is something that I'm watchful for. This thing does peak out right about the election on November 5th is about where this thing comes to a point. So we might still climb up above this resistance line that we see, but watch for, well, when I say resistance line, I mean the 585, but for this trend line that you see coming across here, this historic resistance line, we got to watch for that as well to see where it could potentially go from there. So watch to see that if we break above it, bullish, and breaking down below it, getting rejected, and especially breaking this bottom trend line, bearish. And you guys can see the prices that I have for you depending on which way we go in the markets. Bring up the Qs, and in the Qs we see another rising wedge pattern happening in here. Got rejected off of it Monday of last week, and then also on Tuesday, sold down since then, had a little bit of a give back on Friday. Decent day in the markets. 492 is about where we find that support coming in. The pre-market hours are right down near that value. Watch to see us potentially get pushed down below that as we near the election. Now, mind you, with big tech coming up this week and next week, that's going to be huge for watching what happens with QQQ. So be on the lookout for that. IWM, this is one that we want to watch those inflation reports. We want to see what's going on with the Fed. These are interest rate sensitive stocks, more so than what we would see in the NASDAQ 100 or SPY. And it was on a pretty good run, and you can see this trend line, the white one that comes down along here. Yeah, I know there's a lot that's on the screen right now. Let me put it up higher on the screen for you. We got pretty much 3 rejections just south of that line. So that is something keeping us from that 225.08 and keeping us from, at least currently, the all-time highs. Now, will this turn into some sort of bull flag or bull pennant? We're going to have to watch and see, especially if we stay up above 225. We're in really good shape for further bullish movement, and we're just going to have to watch and see. Staying above 225, good. Breaking above this trend line, even better. Got to watch 228 to the north of that. That's one of the previous peaks that we have. And then above that, we have some pretty significant resistance right around 230. We got a big fat area of support down below, by the way, starting about 222 and going down to about 219. So we'll see what we get for that. NVIDIA, as we bring up NVIDIA here, there we go. Got the daily chart going on. You can see the all-time high that we put on Thursday, and then yesterday within the body of that candle, as we saw with the indices with SPY and QQQ, that indecision coming up for what direction to go next. In the pre-market hours down below Friday's close, we have support nearby at about 136. And then the top of this support, by the way, is about 134 down to about 131. We want to stay on top of these moving averages. That can be a bullish thing for us. So right now, we're still in really good shape for NVIDIA. And I think big tech earnings these next 2 weeks are really going to be the telltale sign of what we see coming for NVIDIA for their earnings for the end, at least as per the price action for the stock. Leading up to their earnings, now mind you, we're also going to have to watch the markets themselves because they can either put downward or upward pressure on Nvidia, depending on if we continue to get the bullish run we've been on, or if we see a little bit of market weakness coming our way. So moving over to Tesla. For Tesla, their earnings this week, Wednesday in the after hours is when we have that. So we want to watch for what's going on with Tesla. And I said we could probably march sideways here. That's exactly what we've gotten, is a lot of indecision right now in the pre-market hours, down near the bottom of these previous candles that you see on the daily chart in front of you, right around 218 as I record this. We have support at 215. We have resistance at about 221. I said we'd probably dance between. So far we have. Now, mind you, we'll see how nervous the market is about those earnings as we lead up to it. You might see some more de-risking leading up to those Tesla earnings, because right now what we're hearing about are things that are earnings drags, margin drags, and not a lot to really fill out those revenues, at least in the near term. And Wall Street is one to say, show me the money now or show me the money next quarter. And well, as of right now, at least as per the robo-taxi event, that is, hey, here's what's coming probably a few quarters down the road, and we don't know when we're going to see money coming from it. And so that distant look into the future, while I think it was a very important thing for the vision of Tesla and for the guidance of Tesla, keeping me a long-term investor in Tesla, I think in the near term it's going to offer some more opportunity on price weakness, at least as I see it, for some more dollar cost averaging. So that's my take on Tesla from what we see right now. And then Bitcoin, I have this view for you where I give these prices broken out. Now, mind you, we are putting pressure up here on this value, 69,711. That is a very important value, and reasons that we came within a couple $100 of it. So within about $300 of that, at least so far as this candle builds out, and darn close to about $350 near it on Sunday. So we'll see what happens with us with Bitcoin. We do have this trend line going across the top here. As a matter of fact, now that we have some of those peaks, we can adjust it a little bit more, and that still explains 1, 2, 3 touches so far. Still think that's in really good shape, and it's a fair thing to move that in that way. The bigger thing is this line right here, 69,711, and I actually have a stripped down view for Bitcoin for where we could potentially go. So if we're able to get up over 69,711, that gives us a green light towards almost 74,000, 73,794. Up above that is pretty much a free rise area up to almost 84.5. So we want to be on the lookout for what can happen for Bitcoin's prices. If we get rejected at 69,711, we can fall to just under 65,000, down below that, 58, down below that, 49. So we're going to have to watch and see. These are the major values that we have for support and resistance from where we're at right now for Bitcoin. And we have some decent rising bullish momentum on here. Weekly and daily charts even say so. We're near overbought on the daily chart. So maybe we get a little bit of price softness. We're going to have to watch and see what happens. Really, for Bitcoin, what we want to pay attention to is, are we in a risk-on environment? Are we in a risk-off environment? Now, mind you, Bitcoin not only serves as a nice risk asset for risk-on environments, but it is also something that some people see as a safe haven asset, such as gold. But this would be moving into more of a 21st, 22nd, 23rd century view with its decentralized nature. And so we'll see, I think, coming up with the presidency, with the election coming on its way, and Trump's endorsement and Vance's endorsement of crypto and of Bitcoin itself could be something that's a boon to the crypto markets. And well, it already has been, but we could see if it's a little bit more of one, depending on which way the election goes. We need to watch out for what could potentially happen there. This is not a political channel. I don't do political commentary, but I will comment as far as the financials are involved here. And I think Bitcoin is something that could directly benefit. And along those lines, Tesla, if we get a Trump win with Elon's recent support of Trump that we've seen financially, we've also seen them show up on stage together. Those are things that can also be a very good boon for Tesla stock itself outside of the earnings that we see. So if we get a big old earnings drop, or a drop, I should say, following those earnings, with that stock price, and then Trump ends up winning the election, that could be something that would be a very bullish move, at least I think, in the near term for Tesla, that could help catalyze the stock because of some of the support that you might see being kicked back the other way. So right now from Elon over to Trump for that endorsement, and then once the election happens, if Trump should win, then when Trump takes presidency, or I should say probably earlier that, the market will anticipate it, then I think that could be a boon to Tesla stock price, and we want to be aware of that. We want to be watchful for that. Guys, remember, down in the description, you want to see these technicals, you want to talk to me and my community members, there's a link for the Patreon down in the description. Go ahead and click that. check it out. And I'm bringing a lot of products and services online as well, boosting them from what they've currently been. I'm very excited about that, and I'll have those announcements coming soon. And then also down in the description, find that link for Stockmo Academy. Click on that, sign up, do the technicals like you've seen on screen, and also get access to the bread recipe trading strategy. It's one that I personally use. Stockmo personally uses it. And then also people in the learning community who have access to that course and the bread recipe, who have learned about it, have been walked through the setup by the course, and also lots of really small, easily to digest pieces of technical training and information. You can find that as well using that link for Stockmo Academy down in the description. Click that, sign up, use the code word doctor when you do. It's going to give you a massive discount, and the cost of the course, along with the bread recipe that you get from it, man, oh man, it really does mitigate and even cover oftentimes that price in as little as one trade. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you in the next video.